Hey guys, I just wanted to make this video about Amazon and their deceptive prices. Most people think that Amazon is the bastion of lower prices, but they're wrong, and I just wanted to go through a couple of reasons and show you why that's not true. If you find anything in this video entertaining or insightful, please give it a like and subscribe if you want. I'm going to make a few more videos about other companies like this where they're actually doing their best to make prices worse for customers. The first one is Amazon, and I do have some notes, so you might see me looking down or picking up a piece of paper. That's why, because I'm reading a little bit of what I've written down. So the first crux of my argument here is something that's called the most favored nation pricing policy. And that's something that Amazon does to their third-party sellers, where they will actually require you to sell your item cheaper on Amazon than you sell it anywhere else, including your own website, if you have one. And that sounds great. It sounds like it's good for Amazon customers, and it kind of is, but in all reality, it isn't, because what happens is if Amazon detects the price of any item that you sell as a third-party seller cheaper anywhere else, what happens to your account is you are penalized, and what they do is they remove something called the buy box. And you might not know what that is by the name, but you certainly know what it looks like. It's that little orange and those little orange and yellow buttons on the right side of the screen when you go to checkout, and one of them says add to cart, one of them says buy now. If Amazon detects that the price of an item that you're selling is even 1 cent lower somewhere else, they will remove that box, making it virtually impossible for anybody to buy your items on Amazon. And technically you can still buy things without that box, but it's virtually impossible. I don't even know how you do it. I tried looking around. This has actually happened to me when I've been shopping on Amazon, is I will notice that there is no buy box, and I just assume there's a glitch, or maybe the item is out of stock and I don't buy it and I look for it later. So 98% of all purchases on Amazon go through the buy box. So if they lose the ability to use that, you're essentially making that item invisible to buyers on Amazon. And this is a problem because Amazon is the most popular online retailer now, far and away. So if you are selling on Amazon, probably most of your sales are coming through Amazon. And then as soon as that that item goes on sale somewhere else and is more expensive on Amazon, they will, quick as you can imagine, remove that buy box, making it impossible for you to sell on Amazon. So what happens is, when this happens, instead of making the price cheaper on Amazon, most sellers will make their price more expensive on other websites. So let's just say it's Walmart. If Walmart has it for 30 cents cheaper, they won't lower the Amazon price, they will raise the Walmart price. You might ask yourself, why would they raise the price? Why wouldn't they just lower the price? Well, most of the time on Amazon, they're already at the floor of what they can sell, and they literally can't lower the price. And if they do, they will actually lose money on the item. And the reason for that is Amazon is no longer a cheap place to sell items. They've increased their fees incredibly over the past few years, making it one of the more expensive places to sell items. So what happens is, I pulled up a list on my computer here, of a few of the fees that come with selling on Amazon. So just to be able to sell things, you have to have either an individual plan or a professional plan. Individual plan, you pay a flat fee of 99 cents per item sold. Professional fee, you pay $40 a month, so which I believe is unlimited. So there's that fee. Then there's a core transaction fee. They call it they say it's a referral fee, anywhere between 5 and 45%, depending on the type of item it is. And if you're selling any sort of media like books, DVDs, or video games, it's a $1.80 charge, no matter what. There's also fulfillment by Amazon fees. You might have heard of it as FBA. So there's fees for picking, packing, and shipping the item if you're using Amazon, depending on the weight and the size. There's a cost per cubic foot of warehouse space. There is a higher monthly warehouse rate during peak season, which is October through December. There's an aged inventory fee. So anything over 181 days, you pay extra, I guess. There's a low inventory fee. So if your inventory drops below a certain level, they charge you a fee. There's a disposal and return fee. Then if you're using advertising through Amazon, there is a pay per click fee. There's a flat redemption fee plus the cost of the discount provided for coupons. There is a refund administration fee kept by Amazon to process a customer refund. There's also a high volume listing fee, surcharge for hosting millions of items, which seems ridiculous. And then, just give me 1 second. There's also, you may have noticed when you search an item on Amazon, for some reason you get a bunch of advertised products instead of the product you're looking for. That's another fee people pay, which seems reasonable. If you're going to show their item, ahead of other items, there's a fee for that. There's penalties and returns and fees for if a box arrives at a warehouse slightly late, mislabeled, or sent to the wrong routing door, Amazon applies a 60-cent per unit fee for that. So as you can see, there's all of these insane fees that you pay when you sell through Amazon. And what that does is it makes it extremely cost ineffective to sell through Amazon. So there's this dichotomy of you have to sell at Amazon. People want low prices at Amazon, but Amazon charges so many fees to sellers, they can only make the price so low. And once their item is cheaper, even if it's on their own website, and I say that again because there's no fee for you to sell on your own website other than, shipping. So even if you have whatever you're selling, and I'm going to bring up an example in a minute of an actual case where this happened and has been reported publicly by CNBC. Amazon is forcing you to basically sell it cheaper with more fees so that they make more money and the seller makes no money. And the case that I saw on the CNBC article is an item called a Ripple rug, and basically it's a little cat toy that looks like a rug. And what happened was the seller was selling, his name is Fred Ruckel. He was selling it on Amazon and on Chewy.com as well. And unbeknownst to him, Chewy ran a sale, dropping his $43 price on Amazon. And I believe it was the same price on Chewy. It dropped the price to under $40. So, but Chewy charges shipping, whereas Amazon has their Prime, so there's no additional charge for shipping. So with shipping, it would have ended up being more expensive than on Amazon, but Amazon doesn't care. So they removed his buy box from the item and made it impossible for him to sell the item on Amazon. So what he had to do is he had to raise the price on Chewy just so that Amazon's price would be the same or cheaper. And that is, in my opinion, ridiculous. And it is not an example of the free market doing its thing. This is an example of extreme manipulation to make customers and sellers use Amazon against their will. So my next point is that in 2023, there was a sweeping FTC antitrust lawsuit that the FTC brought against Amazon for essentially being a monopoly. And one of the core tenets of this lawsuit was that Amazon was forcing sellers to raise prices other places, and keep their prices on Amazon the cheapest, even if it meant worse prices for customers. And during this lawsuit, as far as I know, it still is going on, and it hasn't gone through the court system yet. There's been a lot of delays. As you can imagine, with a $1 trillion company like Amazon, they've got their swarm of lawyers going through this, delaying things so they can try to get this thrown out eventually. But during that lawsuit, there's a newly unsealed piece of evidence that just came out this year. And what it is an internal algorithm that Amazon used called Project Nessie. And what is Project Nessie, you might ask? Well, Project Nessie was an algorithm that was used to test how much Amazon could raise prices in a way that would force competitors to do the same. That doesn't sound like pro-consumer activity to me. Essentially, Amazon was raising their prices, forcing their price to no longer be the cheapest. So now that that most favored nation pricing policy goes into effect, so they raise their price. This forces competitors to raise their price somewhere else, causing Amazon to make everything more expensive. And Project Nessie was designed to see how far they could push that. So at the end of the day, what's the takeaway here? Amazon's price isn't always lower, even if it appears that way. Amazon spends a lot of time and money to make their prices appear lower than their competitors, while actually raising prices everywhere. And as a consumer, you might be asking, what do we do? Is there anything we can do? And I believe there is. I think we need to basically, what we need to do is, Amazon has a lot of power over the consumer, but they only have as much power as we let them have, and we let them have the power by spending our money with them. So what we can do to limit that is, when you see a price that's the same or similar, buy it elsewhere instead of at Amazon. And what this will do is, if enough people start getting fed up with this shit that Amazon is pulling, we won't have to worry about it, because people will start shopping elsewhere, and then Amazon will start losing money, and they will change this crappy behavior that they've been doing on their own. But as long as people seem to think that Amazon is essential to their lives, which it isn't, but if there's plenty of people out there who think they have to have Prime, they have to buy everything at Amazon to get that free 2-day shipping, which personally it's never 2 days, it's always late. I had an item, I still shop at Amazon when I have to, and there was an item that I bought that was supposed to be delivered yesterday, and of course was actually delivered today, and then I had to go pick it up because my post office wouldn't deliver it. But I digress. A lot of people seem to think that Amazon is essential, and it really isn't. Many people don't know this, but you can still get free shipping from Amazon as long as your order is over $35. So I personally canceled Prime probably 2 or 3 years ago. Whenever they started adding advertisements to Prime Video, I said, all right, I'm not paying for a service and then also being advertised to. So I canceled my Prime subscription, and then realized that you can actually get items shipped to you for free, as long as your order is over $35. I think that is a good compromise. So occasionally I'll order stuff from Amazon, but it's only when I have to, and it's only when it's particularly more difficult or more expensive to do elsewhere. So if you are buying an item, I suggest you buy it from any place else other than Amazon if you can. If it's within $1 and you can get it shipped to you roughly the same time, or just go to the store and pick it up, I suggest doing that instead of using Amazon. Mostly because Amazon is getting a little too big for their britches now, and they are, I wouldn't say a monopoly, but borderline. And they're starting to use deceptive, gross tactics to manipulate prices and force people to sell with them and buy with them. And I think that's gross. So I'm doing my best not to shop with them, and I think you should too. If you have any comments, just leave them on this video. If you have any questions, same thing, let me know. If you wouldn't mind, just give me a like on this video if you found it informational. Is that a word? No, probably not. If you found it insightful, or if you found any of the information in this video helpful, just leave me a comment, give me a like, subscribe if you want. I'm gonna make a couple more videos like this. I think I've got a couple ideas about a Walmart video and a Sony video. So those should be coming up soon. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.